What's up everybody, Arrg The Pirate here, and today we're going to play a little Izanami in the duo lane. Now she has one of the fastest clears of the beginning hunters. For the first 5-10 minutes you can absolutely dominate that duo lane, and hopefully we'll be able to pull it off this round. Now let's get into the build, the kit, all that good stuff. Now for my first 1500 gold, I'm going to pick up Charged Morningstar, which is rank 2 of Transcendence, and then I'm going to build 4 health potions, 2 mana potions, and Aegis. And then I'm going to focus on my Transcendence, which cost 1400 extra gold, so you need to stay in lane to try to get that online as early as possible, and then pick up Ninja Tabby, Executioner, Deathbringer, Wind Demon, and Bloodforge, as well as Blink for my last relic. Now before I go over a kit, let's talk about what's going on right now. If you see here, we're pushed up pretty far, and we've cleared out the minion wave, and we're just kind of waiting for that minion wave to reset. Chalk is staying engaged pretty far up, and that's really just asking for a jungle rotation. Guys, it's always best to back up and go for those buffs. We could have even gone for both the purple and the red right there if Chalk would have stayed with me, but I took a ton of damage. You can see that, taking a ton of damage clearing it myself, and I'm right back into lane, and I'm going to be able to help clear this lane and get my farm from it. So really, you're not missing a whole lot by backing off just for a little bit, and you're probably going to stay a lot healthier. Okay, now let's get into this kit. First up, we have her passive. Death draws 9. The closer Izanami gets to death, the more powerful she becomes. Izanami gains 4% physical protection for each 15% of health missing. So really, you don't do any more damage the lower you get in health. You can just resist a little bit more. It's always best to stay healthy. Next up, we have her 1 Sickle Storm. For 6 seconds, Izanami throws her sickles even faster and more ferociously. When active, she gains attack speed, and her basic attack no longer returns to her, instead applying bonus damage in addition to 100% of her basic attack power. So really, your 1 is just used to do tons and tons of damage to enemies or even towers. Next up, we have her 2 Spectral Projection. Izanami sends forth a demonic visage of herself to strike down her enemies, damaging and slowing all enemies in a line. If an enemy god is killed while slowed by this ability, further uses of the slow will be increased by 6% per kill, up to twice for a maximum of 30%. Basically, if you kill 3 people while they are slowed, the slow now applies a 30% slow instead of an 18%. Fade Away is her 3 with one of the best escapes in the game. Oh man, Izanami descends into the underworld, becoming stealth and leaping away from her current position. Taking damage or firing a damage ability or basic attack breaks her stealth, but basically you just dash away and go invisible for a few seconds. It's crazy. Lastly, we have her ultimate Dark Portal. Izanami summons a Dark Portal which damages and silences all enemies, and guys, it actually does quite a bit of damage, and if you can get that silence off, then the enemy is basically helpless for a few seconds, and you can just absolutely tee off on them. Dark Portal is awesome. I believe we get an awesome kill with it too in this match, so I really like Izanami. I'm just not very good with her. Alright, now let's get into this gameplay. So we've done a pretty good job of farming so far. We've got Transcendence online, and we've got a kill. Not too bad. We are going against 2 ADCs, which can be difficult for Chalk to really get in there, but that's quite alright. We're going to go ahead and focus on this on her, and look at this damage, guys. I'm not exactly sure why he didn't jump away. You can see me dashing forward because I figured he was going to, but he didn't, and we're able to take him out. And then, let's clean this wave up, and you can see our wave clear is just awesome. Chalk is kind of going in and engaging onto Shibalanke, and we're able to use that Dark Portal, followed up by his ultimate, and take him out. Now, we are going to push into this tower, and you can see here, I'm going to focus on the minions. I am stacking, and honestly, the tower's not as important as getting those stacks online as fast as possible. And with on her showing up, I'm just not going to use my Sickle Storm to really do some work there, because we were not going to down that tower. Getting some extra poke on it is fine, but, let's just go ahead and save that mana until we actually need it. Now again, I'm going to go for the purple, and Chalk decided to back, which, you know, it would have been nice if he would have helped out, but I'm very, very low. And with both those ADCs showing up, you can see there, I was able to get out of that. You know, we got a little bit of poke on that minion wave, and hopefully it'll make it much easier when it shows up. But I do need to play safe. You know, we've got to be very, very careful with me being that low. Xbalanque with his range, you know, we just need to be very cautious. And since Xbalanque did use his dash there, we got some good poke on him because that did allow us to push up a little bit more. And, you know, that getting poke in is always great. But again, we want to play very safe, and with Chalk showing up, we might be able to make something happen. We get our Dark Portal. We're able to take out Xbalanque, you know, easy peasy. You can see that Dark Portal does quite a bit of damage, and since it silences, you know, you've just got a little bit of time at these early stages to do some free damage, and no one can get away from you, and hey, that's great. Now, I am low here, and I really should back off of this, but on hers here, he's going to focus me down, take me out. Chalk was able to get him down as well, and, you know, it'd have been much better for me to not sacrifice myself for that kill, but is what it is. We're 3-1-2, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. Now, on my return to the duo lane, I see Hades is in our jungle, and he actually gets hit by Thanatos. I'm going to try to head over and see what I can do. I'm going to show up in mid lane. You know, let's head to mid lane, see if we can help out. You know, we don't want our mid laner to go down. You know, we want him to stay safe because he is, if not more, just as important as I am in this game. And we're going to go ahead and go in on this mid tower. You can see we're getting some decent poke on it, and with the amount of damage we have been able to put onto this mid tower, it should go down with this next minion wave. But I really don't need to stick around and make sure that it goes down. I need to get back to my lane and help out Chalk, and sure enough, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and just zip through this wall here, and, you know, we kind of stayed stealth just in case, but, you know, is what it is. We want to get back to our farm. We've almost got our trans fully unlocked, which, you know, hey, that's absolutely great. But we need to keep pushing this lane. And with mid tower down, that's going to free our, whatever his name is, the ghosty coffin guy. It's going to free him up to actually start rotating a little bit more, and that'll just make other towers much easier. Now, with Hades showing up, we should be able to make something happen here, and you can see I'm getting ready. As soon as Hades zooms in, I zoom in. We follow that up onto Xbalanque, but with that Rising Tiger, or whatever it's called, Blow Dart Spinny, he's able to get out so easily. And, you know, Hades is going to have trouble locking these two ADCs down, but that's quite all right. Now, we're going to go into this tower, and you can see Chalk is doing a great job of peeling, and I'm just going to focus on the tower. You see, once okay, it's time to work, I go ahead and actually do some work on that tower, use that Sickle Storm, and we are able to secure that kill. You know, Chalk almost went down there. that was a close one. But hey, great. Let's go ahead and peel off of that tower, guys. We don't want to stay in on that T2 because, again, that's just asking for rotations. Now, I don't want to play entirely too aggressive here, and you can see my lanes are sitting pretty good. Our mid lane's pushed up very far. You know, everything's just sitting good. So I'm going to clean some jungles up, and then I end up heading over to the solo lane where Anubis is. And sure enough, we're able to get that Dark Portal onto Anubis, and he does end up getting that stun, but we might be able to take him. Sure enough, we're able to take him out. And that's great. That's exactly what we wanted. We're able to go engage on this T1 in the solo lane. You know, Opwash is definitely going to need some help because, you know, mages need help with towers. It's just that simple. And I am playing very, very aggressive on this tower, but that's quite all right. You know, we might lose our T1 in our duo lane, but we're going to get all the T1s down for that. And it's definitely a great trade. Now, once we take down that tower, we have to get out, and you can see Baron is chasing me, so we definitely want to get out. Unfortunately, Opwash goes down there, and I'm going to head back over there because, you know, we're definitely going to lose this tower if something doesn't happen. And we are able to start out with our Dark Portal onto Thanatos, and we just barrel stuff him and take him out. Unfortunately, this tower is going to fall, and I'm getting surrounded by Anubis and Baron. I am able to dash out of that. You know, her escape is just so good, but we really need Opwash or somebody to show up because I am very, very low, and it would not take much for Baron to take me out. Now, I am going to try to turtle shell, but you see, playing a turtle shell when you've got people in front of you and people beside you can be very difficult, so we want to be just as careful as we can. Just kind of hang out. I was trying to pop a potion there, and I ended up using my relic because I'm just terrible. But Hades does show up. Let's go ahead, engage onto that Anubis, and we are able to take him out. You know, awesome, awesome. Great play on Hades' part. You know, that was just awesome in general. Now I gotta go ahead and back off, you know, especially with that Thanatos. I was worried about Thanatos when that mark showed up, but hey, no problem. I've got to get to my duo lane. I know I left without relics, but that's quite alright. I need to get to my duo lane, and Xbalanque is here. You can see our Chalk shows up, and we should be able to make something happen. I'm gonna just chase him down. Let's take him out. Let's show him that it is not okay for him to, you know, do what he was doing. And he's got no health at all. I'm doing it, guys. I'm just gonna chase him. Chasing like this is absolutely ridiculous, but we might be able to get this kill. Hopefully we can. We're using our stealth, and you can see I'm gonna go ahead and take him out. You know, great. On her is chasing me now, you know, and you see, this is kind of that issue where just chasing gets you so far out of position, it's really not worth it most of the time. But luckily, Chalk was right behind me, and he was able to follow up and kind of, you know, peel for me a little bit. And, you know, hey, that's great. On her, oh man, on her, he jumped right into that and used that escape to stay where he was, you know, which it does have a great stun, but, you know, that was just, again, poor positioning, and we were able to take huge advantage of that. Now, of course, we are able to take out this tower easy peasy. You know, we engage onto Xbalanque a little bit, but not a whole lot we could do there. And then I'm actually going to head to mid lane. Their Anubis is here in mid lane. If we could get some rotation, you know, be able to take him out. He's just completely unaware that I was behind him, I guess. And sure enough, Opwa shows up and, you know, creates that huge zone. We're able to take him out. You know, that's awesome. And one thing about Anubis is, since he doesn't really have an escape, he's just a massive damage dealer. If you can collapse on him and engage him in two different directions, you can usually take him out fairly easy. Now from here, we head over to our solo lane, and Thanatos does a great job. You know, I'm terrible at aiming, but he does an absolute great job of dodging and evading us right here. You know, that's great. Chalk shows up, you know, and he evades everything. Great job on his part. You know, he got away with 3 health. But we are going to be able to take down this T2 just because, you know, hey, we were able to push him out of lane. And with us dominating this laning game, you know, this is just freeing us up to make some great rotations, get into some great team fights, and secure those side objectives. Now, as the ADC, positioning is key, and going in behind enemies doesn't always, you know, work out. But you can see here, we are kind of going around this, and we're going to be able to take out on her here. You know, that's great. Just kind of keeping an eye on that map. You can see, hey, maybe you can make a rotation. Maybe you can show up where you need to show up. And with Anubis here, we're going to be able to just take out Anubis as well. You know, awesome, awesome. I'm not exactly sure how I got that kill. You know, Hades Blast should have taken him out. But, you know, hey, that's awesome. We're stacking them up. We're getting fed. And with 3,000 gold, I'm going to just go for my Deathbringer first. I typically put on Wind Demon before Deathbringer, but since I had just enough gold, let's go ahead and do that now. Now, since we've got all the T2s down, we're really free to just roam everywhere, and you can see that's exactly what we're doing. I'm going to clean out this jungle. You know, I headed over to that Thanatos, and I zoomed in there. You know, we weren't able to make something happen. You know, it'd have been sweet, but it just didn't happen. We do end up Aegising that Anubis ult, and you can see, well, once Anubis really uses his kit, if you've got somebody else there, you can really shred an Anubis. It's just being able to survive that massive amount of damage he's capable of doing. Now, I ended up using my Sickle Storm right there. If I wouldn't have used Sickle Storm, I'd have taken out that on her right there. But since we used it, you know, those sickles stop on the first enemy that they hit. It feels bad, man, but is what it is. You know, we've got this massive amount of pressure right here. Let's go ahead and back off. You can see our Team 2 in our dual lane is about to be engaged on, but we definitely need to stay in on this fight as long as possible if our team is going to stay in. And sure enough, it ended up working out great. You know, we got 3 of them down. For all of us still being up, we should be able to engage on this tower shortly. And, you know, with Thanatos here, you know, you definitely have to be careful, because one hit from him will absolutely destroy me. You know, half health sickle is definitely something that can happen. Now, we have lost our opportunity to take down this Phoenix. Once the enemy team starts spawning in, you know, there's nothing you can do. And we still are fairly early into the match. So, you know, let's just back off. I was heading over to our dual lane, but Hades took care of that. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the enemy red. And then, you know, hey, we've got the pressure right back up. Me and Hades are here in the dual lane. Let's go ahead and take down this Phoenix. And then I say, hey, we can swoop behind them. You know, it's a 4v3 fight if we do that, but unfortunately we're just not able to make it over there fast enough. And you know, me and Hades are just very, very slow. I try to engage on Baron, whatever his name is, but the amount of damage this guy has is insane, and we end up going down. That was just a very poor choice on me and Hades' part. We were very, very overconfident there, and, you know, we just thought our team was a lot more healthier, and, you know, sandwiching a 3v4 fight, that would definitely go our way. But once they started taking down our gods, me and Hades should have split off of that. You know, luckily Hades was able to get out. That was a very poor choice on my part. Now, once we spawn back in, you know, again, we're just going to kind of march down the lane. You can see my team is engaging onto the Titan when, you know, it'd probably be better spent engaging onto a Phoenix or, you know, picking up a side objective, something like that. But, you know, is what it is. Baron is here. I'm going to focus on to Shibalanka, and you see I was just turning around throwing, so his ultimate's not going to affect me, and we're able to take him out. And then, again, we're going to be able to engage on to that Phoenix. I'm able to dash out of Baron's ultimate, and then we're going to be able to hopefully take him out if we could aim. Fortunately, we're just not able to because we're terrible. Then, again, just kind of focus onto this Phoenix. You know, we really want to take this Phoenix down. With the other Phoenix already down, you know, we should be able to wrap this match up fairly quickly, and we want to do that before, you know, too much happens. We want to wrap that up before the enemy team starts catching up to us, because you can see we've got a clear advantage over them right now. Now, I am able to back off here. You know, there's Thanatos, and we kind of chase him a little bit, but let's just get out. Let's not worry about that. I'm going to head over to our solo lane. You can see I just blinked and used my dash. You know, let's go fast. Let's go fast. And sure enough, we're doing work, guys. We're absolutely dominating at this point. You know, we're level 20, and hey, that's great. Baron shows up behind me, and his ultimate, and you can hear I even made the little noise of my dash, but I got stunned before it. He's so strong, man. It's just ridiculous, but you know, it is what it is. Now, I had no idea my team was going in on Fire Giant right there, or I would have definitely showed up and helped. You know, I miss out on my Fire Giant buff, as well as, you know, my team is a lot less healthier than they would have been if I was there. But is what it is. You know, the pinging system or the chat system is just not the best in Smite, especially on console, because, you know, yeah, hitting 14 buttons to say one thing is a little bit difficult, but is what it is. Now, again, once we spawn back in, we're going to head over to our solo lane. You know, Thanatos is pushing that, and with Hades showing up, you know, we got quite a bit of work on him, and I'm trying to chase him down because he's going to be able to one-shot somebody. Sure enough, he's able to. You know, Thanatos' damage is crazy, and, you know, we just got to play careful. Chalk is here. Let's help back up Chalk since he was kind of frontlining for our team, and, you know, we're just kind of shoving this down the enemy's throats at this point. You know, with these fire minions, we're able to do quite a bit of work, and we got a decent amount of poke damage done to Baron, but, you know, if he ever hits anybody, he's going to be able to take him out. Hades saves the day and jumps in there and takes him right out. You know, that's awesome. Shibalanke's here now, and he dashed into all of us. Again, we're going to use that same strategy. Stand still and throw our daggers or throw our scythes. We're able to take him out. GG. You know, that's awesome. We're going to keep this pressure up on this Phoenix. You know, it did spawn back in, so we want to try to take it down now that it's still very, very low. Really, we're just kind of buying some time. Now, Hades goes right in, doesn't care. I'm going to focus onto the Phoenix, take this Phoenix out. Anubis is here. You know, he's trying to burst down Hades, but it's not going to happen. We get deleted by Thanatos, but hey, a double kill plus a Phoenix is absolutely huge. You know, that's 4 of them down. We might be able to make something happen at the Titan here, or, you know, at least kind of get it low. Now, hopefully, we'll be able to finish up this match shortly. You know, we've got the pressure up. You can see the solo lane Phoenix is almost down. The duo lane is unfortunately healed back up, but, you know, quite all right. Let's go ahead and take down those oracles for once. And, you know, Baron's here. We're going to go ahead and just delete Baron. You know, easy peasy. There's 4 of us here. You know, it wasn't even a challenge. And we're going to, again, try to shove this mid lane. You know, with on her here, we might be able to make something happen. Let's avoid those shots because they are piercing. Thanatos is jumping in. He's able to take me out. You know, his damage is just real. And that silence as well. And, you know, I even had Aegis. I'm just terrible. But luckily, my team ends up getting a entire team wipe there. You know, that me for an entire team is completely worth it. And my team is able to finish this off. Well, thanks for watching, guys. And if you did enjoy, show me some love. Leave me a comment. Think about subscribing. And as always, guys, I'll see y'all in the next video.